Listen,
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
we talk about it every day.
Can't get enough baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to weigh mine for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There is absolutely no human being on the planet I would rather be talking to more than Jake Savicki right now. Nobody. Nobody.
I love that. That's how you make somebody feel welcome and good right away.
We say this. We've talked a lot about it, and the challenge, Jake, is that when we have people come on a lot, they know it's coming, but it doesn't. But every time it's still a smile because here's how I look at it. It's true. Number one, I am so happy that you're on with us, and I'm able to talk to you. That is true. And it also it sets the tone, man. Let's go. I think we were just talking. I mean, this is the good part. This is the easy part. The hard part is hey world, check out this awesome conversation.
Yeah, the tough part is being the man in the arena, right? Giving up a home run in front of 40,000 and having to stand in the dirt circle. That's the tough part. This is all right.
So, all right. So, listen, I just want you to go through. You have a fascinating existence and most importantly, a deep-rooted love for baseball. I know this. So, if you could just go through sort of your journey first, because I don't want to miss anything, number one. And also just, I'll probably have questions off of it. But just if you could talk a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. So I played high school baseball like most kids, then played a little bit of junior college baseball, had a coach. I went, we're going to have some fun. I'll tell this story real fast though. I don't tell it often. After high school, I went to a really small high school, like really small. I think I graduated with like 30 kids in my class.
Okay.
And I was big fish in a little sea there. And I knew that, all my buddies I grew up with were going to the big high schools, and I could have played there, but I got sent to a smaller school, enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, I was like the first athlete to ever play after high school there. That's how small it was, it wasn't, and it doesn't even exist anymore. But, so I had no plans of actually playing after high school, and then went through a year and a half or so. I graduated at 17. I was young, didn't turn 18 until 6-7 months later. But I had some family stuff, and my brother passed away. It was tough for me, and I actually just turned to baseball. I'm like, I handled it really poorly for like a year, and just one night said, I got to do something better with my life. And so I actually turned to baseball. Like, I hate school. I absolutely am not a school guy. So I figured if I'm going to play baseball, a men's league isn't going to take enough time to get my head on straight. And so I went to junior college, and figured if I want to play baseball, then I'll have to do school. That's a 2-for-1 deal for me. So I did, and it was really good for me. I went to Shasta College, top of California. I'm one of those guys. It's like the saying, like, "Oh, baseball saved my life." I don't know if it saved my life, but it certainly took me down a much better path, and so it meant something to me. And got a scholarship out of there, which I say all this because it adds to, I think, my journey, and then coaching and passing my journey along, which I think is what a lot of these guys do, and I appreciate that so much. So I got a full ride to a Division II in New Mexico out of that junior college, and then at the 11th hour, last day before I left, took a physical real quick, and had a very small heart condition that the doctor's like, one of the highest elevation schools in New Mexico where I was going. He's like, you can't go. You can't do that every day. Your heart's going to struggle to train and live in that atmosphere. Kind of like a Kenley Jansen does.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Same thing. So I'm like, okay. So I stayed home. Obviously, my brother actually passed away from heart failure. So I'm like, I'm not going to do this to my mom. She won't be able to sleep for 2 years while I'm in this school. So stayed home, looked for another option, and started working at a batting cage. And then eventually somebody called in and asked if anyone can coach a travel team. I'm like, yeah, I'm a yes guy. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And then that just became the thing. Somehow I went from that to coaching at Carlsbad High School in Southern California. And I did that for 9 years, and 2 as the assistant and then 7 as the head guy. And that for me was like the coolest thing. It was honestly the best. And I had a guy, Ralph Kripe, he took care of the field. It was his place. We were just playing on it. He was one of those guys. And he was awesome. But he told me something. He said, hey, I've seen almost every coach come through here, every single one of them. They've all got fired. Nobody's really left on their own. Good ones even, parents are undefeated in high school baseball. And I said, all right. He goes, I just want to see you leave while there's still some pixie dust. And I thought, wow, I actually love that. He goes, because you've done this for 6-7 years and you love it and you've done such a great job. I'd hate for your last year, if it's 10 years, the parents run you out and you're like, fuck that place. I don't like it. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So it just worked out with my daughter turning 5, getting ready to play sports. I was wrapping it up. I wanted to see her. So I quit. We had a great run. I had a blast. And now I obviously help out with her softball, what she's doing. But the social media part of it started during COVID. I thought I'd never see anybody ever again. So I was like, screw it. I'll just make some content. What do I care? Which was good for me. It was good for me because I wasn't always like that. And I think the feeling of not being able to see people and who cares would help. So I kind of am now this mix of, I started with some Cody Bellinger impressions, which I didn't think would go the way they went, but they blew up. They absolutely blew up. I kind of look like him. I talk slow. He looks high all the time. My eyes are naturally closed halfway all the time anyways, whatever. It was fun. I got a kind of a big following from that, but I loved Cody Bellinger. And the problem is there's no way to impersonate Cody Bellinger without feeling like you're making fun of him. And I didn't want to do that. I'm like, I don't want to be making fun of him, but that's the only way to impersonate him. So I found a lane to switch to, and I've turned into the ball guy. You can throw as hard as you want. You don't throw strikes. I don't give a shit. Like, that was kind of the idea. And I had no idea that there was such a huge group of people out there that are, they're like, where the Greg Maddoxes, these guys today. I'm like, well, these guys today are pretty damn good. I don't know that Joe Kelly throwing one at Tatis's head and then painting the outside corner is any better. I wouldn't want to deal with that. So, and then that went on for almost a year, and somebody's like, does nobody ever throw strikes? I'm like, all right, I'll do a strike video. So someone threw a strike, and I'm like, cranked. They're like, oh, fuck, okay. So it's either a ball or you're hitting a bomb. I'm like, yeah, of course. So it's just taking a fun life of its own. And, and then it turns into advice. I tell stories from my coaching days, and, I'm lucky. My daughter's 10. I feel very lucky that I had her. I had the high school stuff for 10 years to see other parents do it and see really good players get burnt out because the way their journey was handled, and really good players make it to the big leagues because the way their journey was handled. So, and it gave me perspective too on like the numbers, right? Hey, only 1% of high schoolers go on to the next level. It's like, well, that's if you count them all. 80% of these kids don't even want to go to the next level. So if you count the kids that do, you might be closer to 50%, really. So I like talking to people about it. I like talking to parents, really, and helping out. But for the most part, I just have some fun on social media, and it's turned into a very cool thing. And like you said, wouldn't want to be anywhere else. My whole thing is like 30 years ago, somebody could have looked at me and you and said, hey, you two guys are going to be sitting right here on a Monday morning at 10:38. And we're both like, why? What do you mean? What connection would we have? And we were always going to be here. So I'm a very present human being. I try to
Oh
be,
my goodness. It's so good.
possible.
I mean, there's a million things I want to sort of follow up on, including, by the way, I saw that you said on one post about more teaching, less coaching, something like that. And like when you're talking about that was one of the things that jumped to mind, more teaching, less coaching. Which is, and we could get to sort of that in a second, but I think overall, Jake, one of the great things about baseball is because it's not hyperbole when you say it affects so many people's lives in so many ways. Like you just said, how it affected tangibly your life after your brother's passing, but also how it affected how you view it through your daughter, how you viewed it through the kids that you coach, how you viewed it through watching other parents, how you viewed it through watching major leaguers and just picking up on their mannerisms, like all of it. And the great thing about it, this is my way of saying, your stuff is so awesome, and it's just another example. And it's one of the best examples of why baseball is so perfect to do what you do, right? It's I get it. Like there's football, I get all of this, but baseball, because of all these things that we're talking about, is perfect for how you present it, how you can be creative with it, how you can be educational with it. Am I making sense? I know I'm just sort of like
totally. You are. I think the same thing all the time because the audience, if people don't know baseball, then baseball is pretty boring. If you know it, it's the best game in the world. And I love that that's the name of this show because it's not boring. And if you think it's boring, you just don't know baseball. So I look at, like people that don't know baseball, look at my content. I'll get comments. They're like, this guy's a friggin' asshole. And I'm like, this is baseball's love language, just so you know. Like, I guarantee when these guys are out there, just like we were in high school and college, like, shit talking is the love language. Like that's how we tell each other we love you. Strike me out and I say fuck you. That means nice pitch, dude. You stupid idiot.
yeah.
So I have a good time with this stuff, and the fact that grows an audience, and then I can talk about coaching versus teaching, and I've been blessed with this platform that will reach the right people too. And I think that for me is fun because the navigation as a coach, player, parent, anybody involved in baseball it's hard. It's very difficult.
And I think that there's a couple things that I keep going back to, which obviously, like you said, we always ask why isn't baseball as boring? And the thing, Jake, when we ask this about major leaguers and everybody really, it seems like you would have a similar answer or a same answer. You don't. It's crazy. Like these major leaguers, these people who have reached the highest of heights, you figure, okay, they're going to say the same thing and they say something different all the time. Why isn't baseball as boring? So I just want to give you the heads up. I'm going to ask you that. But so we did this book, the Joe Kelly book, the Damn Near Perfect Game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was one of the things I took out of it was a lot of what you're talking about, because Joe talked to Manfred and he talks to Rob Lowe and he talks to Mark Hoppus of Blink-182. Everyone has a baseball story. You just told your baseball story.
Mm-hmm.
But there are similarities. And one of the similarity I want to ask you was when you do you remember walking into a major league park for the first time? I know that's a little off the beaten track here, but this...
Yeah, you know what? And it's actually great. It's actually awesome. And so the first time I went to a game was at Jack Murphy Stadium with my dad, and it was during the Sosa and McGuire chasing each other every day. Sosa hit 54. Here comes McGuire. He hit number 54 and 55 tonight. It was amazing. And we went to a Padres Cubs game. And I'll never forget even just being in the parking lot and seeing the stadium. And I was a kid that loved baseball. I played baseball, basketball, and I did martial arts. Those were my three things. And baseball was my favorite. It just was my favorite. So we get there, and I tell this story. It's my favorite way of recounting any baseball game I've been to because it brings back great memories with my dad. Like hopefully a lot of kids get their first game with their dad, and it's awesome. It had all the things, the big eyes of going, holy crap, this field looks gigantic. Oh, look at all these seats, like Tony Gwynn, like all of it, just amazing. But I think they were tied at the time in home runs, Sosa and McGuire, and it was like a national chase. Every night that's all anybody cared about. And I think it was like the 7th or 8th inning. And Sosa comes up with the bases loaded, and we're sitting behind home plate up like if you just look down, we're looking right down the third baseline. We're probably, the middle section. And he hits a grand slam, I think, or a 2-3 run bomb, whatever it was, to take one home run lead over McGuire. And I can still almost see it because where we were sitting, the ball was like straight in line. He pulled it to left field. We were sitting behind home, facing down the third baseline. It's like I could still see the ball going. And I think it was the seventh or eighth, and he's rounding the bases, and the Padres, leave it to the Padres, they fire their own fireworks off for him as he's going around the bases. I'm like, these friggin' idiots.
This is your first game. This is your first game ever?
First game ever.
Really?
It was incredible. And the stadium emptied right after that. The Cubs, I think, were winning handily, and it was seventh, eighth inning. Everybody was there to see Sosa do what he did, and we all left. But yeah, absolutely amazing because I love that story because I think it's hilarious. The Padres shot their own fireworks off for him. And I'll never forget. This was back then when it was cameras. The pitch is being thrown. It's like, it's amazing. So that was my first baseball game.
We say this, and you talked about walking. You said really quick about walking in, how everything's big, right? This is one of the common threads. Is the greens are never greener and the whites are never whiter, and like that's a thing. I mean, that's like
100%.
It's a thing, and I don't think. And one of the things that it was a conversation with Manfred where he said it, and I didn't disagree with him about how baseball is the best game to attend. The baseball is the best game to go to, right? And there's a lot of reasons why. In short, it's the other sport. Football's made for TV, not even question. But basketball, hockey, you're sort of your head's on a swivel right away. Yep. Baseball's like you're talking, you're eating, you're enjoying. Boom, something unbelievable happens. You talk about it, all of that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It truly is. And to add on to that, I think I went to the second series the Giants played at their new stadium back then, Oracle Park, same place now. But I went to the second series they ever played, and I'll never forget looking at the dirt and grass and going, what the – like it had really essentially never been played on. And I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This field doesn't even look real. And so, yeah, there's certainly a nostalgic feeling, even if you're young, it just has this feeling to it. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, no,
it's the
you're
best.
Absolutely right. What is through what you're doing have done? What's been some of the really cool thing that's happened to you? Maybe it's someone interacting with you, meeting something, going somewhere, doing something, whatever it is.
Yeah. The overall, I anytime I get recognized, I find it hilarious. Like people, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, dude, you want to take a picture? Like they're like, oh, isn't it supposed to be the other way around? I'm like, nah, I feel cool. I got recognized. Like I'm a regular dude, man. Like, so when I go to baseball games, if I go, I will probably 15, 20 times hear somebody yell ball. And if I turn around, they'll like slap their buddy and be like, I told you it's the ball guy. And I love that. I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey man, I am as regular as it gets. If I get a chance to get noticed, awesome. So I enjoy that part of it. It's fun. But the coolest thing, without a doubt, that's come from this is two things. The experience for my daughter, right? Just like a big leaguer, when the kid grows up, they're going to realize what they did, and it's awesome. Smaller on my scale of just like being able to go to a Dodgers game. I coached Dave Roberts' son when he was younger, and being able to go to a game and be on the field for batting practice. And my daughter, to her, she thinks it's awesome, but it's what she knows a little bit. So I like that when she thinks back to, like, somebody asked her, what was your first game? Oh man, I was down on the field. I watched Shohei Ohtani, this guy, hit. And it's like, who's that? So I'm glad that it's creating experiences for her to be able to look back and go, maybe my dad was cool, But I do a camp with these Coach Rack and Coach Rack and Ange, Catching Made Simple, called Not Your Average Baseball Camp. And it is whatever you believe in, God, the universe, whatever it is, this camp is touched by that. It was supposed to be made. We go have a good time. It has grown from, a small camp to, we did one this summer in Houston and then somewhere else in Texas, 2 different weeks. There was 1,000 kids, 500 and 500. And it's one of the most incredible things, like, there's a connection there with the kids. It literally is fun with a bunch of coaches that know what they're doing. So you almost, it's like you leave the camp, and I think like a week later you start doing something like, oh man, I didn't even realize I was learning baseball. I was having so much fun. I didn't realize I was learning to load this way. But that thing for me is, I won't say what baseball should be because it's competitive, obviously, and there's a very seriousness to it. But to have fun, it's such a hard game. I tell kids all the time when I give a speech to a high school kid or team, really, I'm like, hey, you guys picked the worst sport, man. I got to tell you, like, you shoot a basketball perfect, you're getting 2 points every time it's going in. I said, you square a ball up and you piss on that thing, some kid in left field's not even going to pull his spikes out of the grass and just like, you're out. And not only do you not get rewarded, you and your whole team get punished with an out. I'm like, this game kind of sucks. So, we have so much fun there. And I think the fun part of it for me is it's when you're going to be at your best, when you're relaxed, and the fun changes. When you're 6, the fun is, I went to this big dirt lot today and sat in a metal cage with my friends, and we screwed around and had a great time, and then went out on the dirt lot every now and then. And then you get to 10 and you know what's going on. You're like, man, we won. That was cool. This is fun. And then you get to 12 and you're like, and I had a bases clearing double that won us the game. Now the fun part is producing and being the reason why we win. So if you continue to change the level, the reason why you're having fun, it'll, I like to clear the bases and win the game. So now I want to go work. I want to go take swings. I want to go take these ground balls. I think if you keep the fun there always, but obviously change it per level, you're going to want to play a long time because this game will beat you down.
Yeah, so this dovetails perfectly with what I want to ask you about, which is through the social media, but also through, like you said, the interaction you have with kids and everything. We're trying to figure out where baseball's going, what is the sweet spot to get people going with baseball. Like, and a couple of quick examples. You mentioned Coach Rack. Well, Savannah Bananas, right? So Savannah Bananas, that's sort of one way, and that's sort of an extreme,
Mm-hmm.
You have something subtle. I've mentioned this a bunch of times where it was unbelievable to me that with baseball, Major League Baseball, wouldn't allow you to have more than 2 colors on a cleat. They didn't understand the power of having personalities on footwear. Finally, they did, but that was a thing. But you are a perfect person to ask this. What is the thing? What have you noticed people are leaning into more and more and more when it comes to sort of embracing the game?
Yeah, it's a good question. I said, I posted something, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and you get people in the comments going, well, they need to look at basketball and football. Like, their ratings are good. I'm like, well, this was the baseball is on the up. Like, it is doing very well. This was one of the most watched World Series ever. The whole playoffs was unbelievable. But I say, anybody, you don't have to know football to go to a game and think it's fun, because they're hitting on every play. They're running, they're passing, they're colliding. Oh, guys are tackling each other. Every play is exciting. Basketball, like you said earlier, it's just back and forth. You can go sit there and go, oh, that's LeBron, and watch him sprint around and dunk and do things you can't do. Baseball is a little different. Like you said, it's a social hangout. If you know the game, then it's amazing. If you know why Scherzer, like Skubal versus Skeens, why this bases loaded, 2 outs, punch out, or single to score 1 run, if you know why that's might be the game in the first inning, it's awesome and you're in it. But the regular fan doesn't know that, or the person that doesn't know. So I think when you look at Banana Ball and it's selling out stadiums, which is awesome, those guys, I know a lot of them, and they're really good dudes. They know what they are. I think that's why I like them. They're not trying to compete with the MLB in a sense of we're just as good. They're a whole different genre, and they know that. They're entertainment. And they're not the Globetrotters, because I think the Globetrotters record was like 11,001.
Yeah. They lose.
They lose. Yeah. I the first game I ever went to, it was an absolute circus for the first hour before a pitch was thrown, and then the pitch was thrown and it's up on the board. It was 92, and I'm like, what the fuck? These guys play baseball? I couldn't believe it. I was actually amazed. But I think the answer to your question is that It's in between because you might ask a kid. This is where I think this is so. I think banana ball is so good for Major League Baseball because it appeals to the kid unbelievably, way more than the MLB does. But you also look at Shohei and go, "Oh, that's awesome!" No matter what age you are. So the way I see let's just take those two, banana ball and the MLB. Here's why I think it's so good is because, and I have no connection to the banana ball. This is not an endorsement. The young kids love it. They love it. But the older they get, it's what's going to keep them in baseball. But when you turn to high school and you say you want to be a banana ball guy or a big leaguer, they're going to want to be a big leaguer. So I think what banana ball is going to do is carry a whole lot more kids in the game longer. Those kids will mature into, I want to be a varsity, I want to be college, I want to be big leaguers. And that maturity will keep them now they're same path, just I want to go big leagues and make it here. And if I don't, yeah, maybe I'll go play banana ball if it still exists, whatever. But I think that's the unintentional thing that's happening is they're getting and keeping more kids in the game. And the longer they stay in the game, the more they're going to look to the big leagues and go, that's what I want to do.
That's a great example. I'm going to give you a terrible, I guess, example of that, or what I'm thinking of it, because what you're talking about is getting people in the door to understand the game, to enjoy the game, so they stay in the game, and then ultimately, who knows where they're going to lead. It's like your daughter, when you brought her to a game for the first time. I remember bringing my kids to a game for the first time. It was like, how much food can I shove down their throat for 3 innings, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, we're not making it past that.
Yep.
And then maybe you go a little bit further. But what they remember is going, as we said, going in and, oh my goodness, this place is so different. Wait a second, what's going on? Wait a second. And then we used to go to the single A game. We had the moon bounce in left field. Oh, we're going to go to the moon bounce. Oh, wait, there's a baseball game? And then they stay a little bit longer. Oh, how do you keep score? You know, nobody actually says that. But anyway. So.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is that's a really good example, actually. It really is. Because my daughter, same thing. Her name is Harper. And she saw Bryce Harper on TV one day and was like, Harper, is that? I'm like, she's like, did you name me because of him? I'm like, no, but sure, we can pretend we did, you know, and that's her favorite player because his name is the same as hers. And the first game I took her to was Padres and Phillies, and she saw him down there warming up and couldn't believe it. She was so excited. And I think he had 2 at-bats, and by his third, she was like, how much longer? I'm like, you want to go? He's going to come up again. She's like, eh. I'm like, okay, so the excitement wore off because, yeah, like you said, how can I keep you entertained? And then we go to a couple banana ball games, and it's like, can we go on the field after the game?
Yeah.
Do you know these guys? Can we do that? I'm like, we'll probably figure it out. So she couldn't wait to get there and didn't want to leave. And
by the way, this is kind of crazy. I can't remember. I even remember this, or remember this, is that 1 week ago, as we taped this, my guest also just had a daughter named Harper.
Really?
Ryan O'Hearn. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fort Padre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Padre. Yeah.
That's funny. Back to back guests, huh?
Yeah. So
cool.
Let me ask you this, because this, you kind of along the lines where you're talking about, because I could go on for autographs forever, because I also think that's a big thing. Brett Phillips said to me, hey, I know to grow the game 50% right away, have everybody sign autographs for 10 minutes, because, there's something to that, because even if you get an autograph from somebody that is just, you would never hear from, you follow that person forever.
Yep.
Forever, right? Do you remember your first autograph?
I
Maybe you
don't.
never got one. I don't know.
Yeah, I have in my adult life, because I've seen some people like, oh, hey, but as a kid, I remember cards. I got a lot. I loved cards. I collected them, but I was never in much of a let me go get them signed mode. I actually don't remember, which I don't know if I really ever had one.
But you know what I'm saying about, it's autographs are a powerful thing. And Adam Jones said this too, is that he said, I forget who told him, an older guy told him, said, make sure when you do an autograph that it's legible. Because otherwise they're not going to know who they got the autograph from.
Yep.
And I am a hypocrite because I could not do cursive to save my life. We all practice our autograph. No, not good. Not good. Yeah.
See, mine's real easy. I get a little J with a big swipe, an S with a big swipe, and then on the S swipe, I either write ball or crank on the line and real small, and so they'll remember.
See that, but that's a good one. That's,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah, it's
one.
a fun one. To your point, yeah, I think I said this a while ago, like Hard Knocks for the NFL, right? You get to see the process. You get to know these guys. And if they did this, if they like that Boston Red Sox documentary from last year, if they did this with every team all season and said, hey, at the end of it, we're going to edit each team. We'll make sure nothing crazy's out there. You guys be you, do what you would normally do. There's going to be mics in the dugout, little cameras, whatever. And it becomes a little reality show. Now, all of a sudden, like, I don't care about baseball, but that fucking Joe Kelly guy is hilarious. And he's on the Dodgers and they're playing tonight. Like, I want to see that dude pitch. And then they're engaged because the human being exists to them. And now they want to go see him do what he does. And when he's good, they're like, God, this guy's freaking awesome. And now you have a fan. So I just think baseball needs to do a better job making it part of these guys' life without making them do anything different. Hey, look, do what you do. We're not going to ask you to be reality TV show guys. We're going to ask you to act like the cameras aren't here and trust that the team we've hired, because we don't want the MLB to be looked at in a bad way either. You guys tell the same dirty jokes, do the locker room shit, do all your stuff. We will cut it all out and make this entertaining and good. I mean, I think that is really the call. You got to put these guys' personalities out there, because baseball, I mean, if you're sitting in a bullpen for 8 innings and you don't have a personality, good luck. Like, that's why these guys have personalities. They're watching the game until their number's called. You better be an entertaining guy down there.
Well, and that's why, honestly, I'm not just saying this because he's a co-owner, co-author, whatever, but that's why I love hanging around with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because he doesn't give a shit about perception, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when he talks about the other day about retirement, like, hey, dude, like, why are we retiring? What's retirement for old people, for 65 people who've earned the retirement? Yep. And I get the other side of it. You want to thank everybody, but what he's saying has merit, and he's not measuring it.
Yep.
But but it's fun, and I could talk about that Netflix thing for a day, but I won't. But I think you're absolutely right. And it was actually, we're simpatico, because the last thing I wanted to ask you was along those lines. You would mention what baseball has to do, and I don't disagree with you. But also, it's the players. And I do feel like players, and you have a good sense of this because you see it on social media. Mm-hmm. I do sense players are protective of their brand, probably in baseball more than any other sport. Mm-hmm. And it used to be, and now that's what you had, the Players Tribune, right? Where, and even well before this is going way back, Schilling had a blog, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, you have a blog?
Yeah.
And then Players Tribune tried to do it. Then you had social media, and now more and more social media. But I do sense that baseball still, even with social media, even with people showing personalities, they're doing it almost begrudgingly, a little bit more than other sports. So my question is, what can baseball players do? We talked about what baseball can do, but what can, from your perspective, baseball players do to advance this?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky road, because you get drafted by the Lakers, you're on the Lakers. You get drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, you're on the Baltimore Ravens, or maybe the practice squad, but you're on the team. You get drafted in baseball. Hey, here's $5 million. Now go make $4,000 a month and ride this bus around nowhere, like and play in front of 19 people every night. It's a grind to get there. So when you get there now, it's like, hey, it's $700K minimum a year. So if you go up there for a month, you're getting that 150 or whatever it might be. Like, I just think they are conditioned to, like, don't screw anything up on my road here. You know, you give the 21-year-old college kid $2 million and say you're on the NFL team, they're going to be posting like, yeah, look at this Maserati, I'm on the rate. Like, it's cool. And it's a different culture. And baseball, I think there is social media is scary. You know, they can say the wrong thing once and be canceled. These extreme examples like Trevor Bauer's personal life. It came out and look what it did to him. Or he did however you want to look at that. Personally, I that's a bummer all the way around, the whole situation. But that's a great example of a guy that was accused of something, took it to court, fought it, won. Clearly, there was a ton of manipulation on the other side, and he still won't. He'll never be back in baseball, I don't think. That sucks. This is a guy who had a $90 million career taken away, and now what? He's doing his YouTube stuff. Good for him, but that sucks. And I think that's where a lot of these baseball guys go, I can't. I don't want. That scares me. I mean, I haven't made my millions yet. I don't want to screw it up.
It's a great point by you. It is like the whole I can't screw this up, and honestly, who did I just have this conversation with? I don't, but I was like the media training thing. It was with this kid Kyson Witherspoon who was on his first round pick. I said, have you had the media training yet? And I said, they mean well. They're trying to help you, but they put the fear of God into you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. So, you're an extension of the team at that point. And it's like, well, you know what? There's a reason. So what's the worst case scenario? If you don't say anything actually bad, you're Joe Kelly. Half the people love you, half the people hate you, and that's a win for him. That's awesome. That's what you want. You're an athlete. I don't want the Yankees to like me if I'm on Boston. I want them to hate me, and they do because I'm good and I speak my mind and it's fun. I think that is what baseball needs. They need to look at certain guys like these outspoken guys and go, look, if you don't say anything stupid, don't say anything stupid. Stay out of political stuff. Stay out of racial stuff. Stay out of all that shit. And if you think, hey, the Yankees, look at Vladdy. The Yankees lose. Like, he had a great time with that.
Right.
And you know what? It was great for baseball. It was great for social media. And on the other hand, when they lost, it recycled itself as great. People are like the Blue Jays lose. It's like, it's a win for baseball all the way around. So, and nobody dislikes Vladdy because of it, except Yankee fans who already disliked him anyway. Whatever.
Yeah. Well.
So I think the media training should be much more. I guess almost like I did this when I coached. When I brought assistant coaches in, I knew them, I vetted them, I knew them well. I said, hey, I'm going to give you the box to coach in, but that box is only because we're at high school. And here's the box. Don't call a kid fat or slow. Don't even call him tall or short. Like, who knows these days?
Yeah.
Don't say you're slow. Say we need to get faster. Yeah. And then don't put a big old dip in and cuss around them. That's it.
Yeah.
There's your box. But I brought you here because I like what you do, and I want you to be you in that box it's a very big box. I mean, that if you're cussing a kid out, you're an idiot, and I wouldn't have you here anyways. If you're doing these things, basically anything I had to answer for with the admin, I'm like, that's your box. I don't want to have to answer for you. Otherwise, go be you. So maybe they've got to find a way to do that with these kids. I mean, Max Clark is a good example.
Right.
Great kid, good social media following, and it opens up deals for him. I mean, if baseball disappeared today, he would have a brand.
Well, and that's the thing. Start thinking about, that's another part of this. And Ortiz said this, is that these guys have to understand you have to start while you're playing before you end, because so many of these guys, and sometimes it works out for them. I've seen guys who are assholes to the media all of a sudden just, hey, I want to be a member of the media now.
Yeah.
But, and sometimes, you know what? They are. And because they've kissed the right ass. I mean, that's just how it is. But anyway, first of all, I would love to have you and Joe on at the same time. You guys think so much alike. It's like you look a little bit like Joe, maybe a little bit like Joe. You could do a Joe.
Yeah. I'll shoot the shit with him next time we jump on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the last thing, obviously, why isn't baseball boring?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear a bunch of people's answers, and I like that you said everybody's got something a little different, but I truly think it emulates life more than any sport. And we might have touched on this in a roundabout way earlier, but it just is life. You're going to have teammates you don't love. You're going to have coworkers you don't love. You're all trying to get the same job done. You have to rely on people. Joe, a pitcher's got to rely on the defense. If we need to throw a guy out at home and that ball's hit to right center field, I need my center fielder to get to it quick and throw it to the cutoff, and he washes his hands. I'm done. I hope my cutoff gets his feet set, turns, and boom, he gets rid of it quick. And then that guy goes, I'm done. Got my feet set, got rid of it. Now I'm relying on my catcher to handle that hop I gave him and put a tag down. Like, that to me is life. You do your job, and then you have to rely on people sometimes. Or, hey, it might come all down to you, and if it doesn't work, bummer. It's not easy to go 0 for 4 with 3 punch outs and say, hey, got to go do it again tomorrow. Sorry. It's like, damn, do I have to? Just, yep, that's life. You got to go. You might not always love it. You might not feel like it, but you got to go. And I think, and also you could do everything right. It still might not work out, like we talked about too. That to me is a big deal, because that happens a lot in life. That you do what you're supposed to do and it doesn't go the way you wanted. And can you bounce back? I mean, everyone says it's a sport of failure, 300s in the Hall of Fame, but I just think it's bigger than that. I think the relationships you build and really playing it in a way that you look at it from a life perspective is amazing. And then I'll answer from the fan side. Go to a ballpark. If you think it's boring, go to a ballpark and pay attention. Pay attention and learn a little bit about it. And then I'm telling you, I hate going to football games. I'd rather watch it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball games, when I get there, it's the only sporting event I went to where I'm less impressed. I'm like, well, the rim looks like it's 4 feet tall with these dudes. Like, I'm a little less impressed by their dunks now because they're all so friggin' big.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, good luck hitting a 98 anything. Good luck hitting a scuba, a skiing. Good luck hitting a guy you've never even heard of. Good luck getting Trey Savage from Single A dealing in the World Series. It doesn't. These guys are all the best in the world. So I think I will add this to make baseball less boring for people that may think it's boring. The MLB has to figure out a way to bring winning baseball to the field more often. 162 games. You look at the playoffs, they're unbelievable.
Oh,
I say this all the time. I don't want to see the best players in the world play baseball. I want to see the best players in the world compete to win a baseball game. And when you get to the playoffs, that's what they're doing. That's real baseball. I guarantee you, every single one of the teams that went, let's just call it the championship series, those 4 teams, I bet they matched their sacrifice bunt total in the playoffs as they did in the 162. I bet they had 8 bunts all year and 7 or 8 in the playoffs. It's like, that's because that's winning baseball.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So if MLB could find a way to play winning baseball more often than just in October, I think they're going to be, that's how people get drawn in. That's how you get a 17-inning game. That's how you get guys battling. I think that's really the key, is find a way to more competitive baseball throughout the year.
See, when I ask that question, one of the great things when you have an awesome answer like that, you get me pumped up. You're like, let's go. Let's go. I mean,
the question itself pumps me up.
Oh,
it gets your brain thinking about why you love it, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's great, man. Like, you're great. All the stuff that you do at Jake Savicki, go check him out. You got the podcast, right?
Yeah, Hold My Ball podcast. Maybe I'll have you guys on there. We'll with a little trade off. I'll get you guys on and we can chat too.
Yeah. Forget about me. I just want you to get Joe. I mean, I'll come on with him. Just for the but Joe is,
I'd love to chat with him as well. Like I said, I was excited to get on here and talk with you, and I really truly love what you guys are doing. I think it's you guys are kind of like, I mean, if you watch my show, it's very similar. I'm just a guy that's talking baseball, and I'm the everyday guy. I like, you see a lot of these bigger ones, and I don't give a shit about the spin rate. I don't care about the exit velo. I just care about baseball. So that's how I talk about it. And when I listen to you guys talk, and I did get validation from you guys one time. I made a post about the Dodgers, like, not giving a shit about the regular season, and guys get injured and blah blah blah. And then a week later, Joe was talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, all you people in my comment section that called me an idiot, listen to the man who's telling you. I'm like, that is a nice little validation for me on a big
no,
thing.
that was good. And the funny thing was is that so I saw some of the Dodgers people after that and like, oh, Joe's giving us secrets. I'm like, is this a secret?
Yeah, come on. Is it a secret that we have 4 Cy Youngs and they're all rolling into the playoffs with 81 innings? Come on. Come on. But no, it is I really do appreciate you having me on here. This was I enjoy this conversation a lot. You guys, baseball and social media needs your podcast. More people that watch it are going to realize baseball is not boring.
Well, I appreciate it. This is just the beginning, and there's gear on the way for you. I really appreciate it, Jake. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you.